Story 4. The Time I Was the Creep. A Story of Reform. I'm sorry. Veteran poster here. I've been debating telling this story for a while now. Eventually, I decided to tell it, but created an alternate account for it. This is not a story about an encounter per se, but it was a recounting of my own time on the creeper side and how I got better. Okay. I grew up a shy, socially anxious, sheltered child in a suburban neighborhood. Due to my family's religious background, I ended up in a religious private school from kindergarten until I graduated high school. My school ran K through 12 and I did all of it. In freshman year of high school, a bunch of new kids came into my grade. Many other private religious schools around here are only run to 8th grade or so. Thus, my small class increased by almost 40 new students. There, I met Kate. Girls in my school never really paid much attention to me. Back then, I was resentful towards them for it. It took me a number of years to realize it was because I never made an effort to be sociable and reach out to them. But at the time, I always blamed them. That was until one day, I met Kate, and everything changed. It started with a simple talk, but Kate paid me attention, and the socially anxious side of me that kept a lot of things bottled up inside loved every second of it. Just the idea of her, the attention, added with her being very pretty, all made me fall hard for her. At least I thought so. Looking back on it now, you could say I was a bit over-infatuated with her. Oh no. I didn't leave her alone. I always looked for her, and I looked for ways to talk to her, told her a lot of things about my life that I didn't tell anyone else. I even got her to hang out with me a few times outside of school. I thought I was on the right track to making her my girlfriend. This was back in the AIM days, so we would message each other a lot on there. Me being the anxious person, I would pour a lot of my feelings out to her on there. I would tell her that I loved her, that my life didn't make sense without her, that I needed her. I would ask her why she would like other guys and not a nice guy or a good guy like me. I would follow her everywhere in the school, never letting this girl out of my sight. Mm-hmm. I then started telling her I loved her. Why did I do this? I couldn't tell you. I wanted her to be mine. I just did. All because she paid attention to me without having to do anything. Though, looking back, it was just friendly attention. I didn't see it that way then. I would add all of these depressive statements coupled with, I love you, all the time from then on. Sorry, I'm gonna gag.
Yep.
I kept this up for 4 years. I wouldn't relent, even if she was dating another guy. I pursued, and I pursued. I continued the calls, the AIM messages, started saying some of this stuff in person, how I felt her and I were meant to be. She finally had enough of it around the time we were about to graduate high school and ceased all contact with me. I'm honestly surprised it took her that long to do so. If I were in her shoes, I would have gotten me out of her life years ago. I still remain obsessed with her for almost a year after. I would still message her, call her, even while I was far away in college. I'd lost my virginity to another girl, and that night called Kate, crying to tell her it should have been her and not the girl I did it with. Eventually, I backed off from her. I don't know why. Eventually, I just did. I began turning obsessive fantasies on other girls in my new college environment. I never pursued them quite like I did with Kate, but the thoughts were still there. They occupied my mind and controlled me. It took me a while to finally realize that I wasn't pursuing these girls. I was harassing them. Somehow, I had this breakthrough on my own. I don't know how I had this revelation, but I did, and I'm thankful for it. This is hard to read. I realized I had to get some kind of help because I don't want to be controlled by my impulsive obsessions with these young women anymore. Mind you, this went on for about 5 years. 4 years of high school with Kate, part of freshman year of college with her, and a milder version of it with multiple girls late that year in college. I decided to seek professional help, something that wasn't right, and I knew I had to get to the bottom of it. After a long period of meeting with a counselor, I realized my obsessive nature came from a long history of problems I had elsewhere from my upbringing. I was projecting deep-seated issues from something else into my romantic life. After a while, these obsessive problems returned for a brief period of time. This time, however, I caught myself and sought a new therapist. After meeting with him, I discovered I'd been living with undiagnosed, but a rather mild version of bipolar for a good portion of my young adult life. With professional help, I began taking the steps I needed to stabilize my mood, my thoughts, etc. Since the version of bipolar I have is rather mild compared to most cases, I was given a mood stabilizing supplement on an as-needed basis. Whenever I feel these overwhelming feelings like this, I just take a supplement pill, wait a few minutes, and it all subsides. I still continue to meet with my counselor bi-weekly, and it really helps me keep myself in check. Since then, I've enjoyed a healthier quality of life. I'm far more socially outgoing than I was back then. I've enjoyed a few healthy and positive relationships with women that have each only ended due to mutual decisions to cease dating. I'm currently living the single life, but I finally have a handle on those obsessive thoughts and have for a while. I'm just enjoying myself and focusing on school. I've even landed a good job, and I'm beginning the stages of writing my first novel, a dream of mine that I've wanted to accomplish for a while now. As for Kate, well, I've spoken to her a few times in the past couple of years. I've apologized for my past behavior, and she said she forgives me. I've even asked her to meet up, and we did once. We had a great conversation over lunch as friends. She has a boyfriend she's been dating for a number of years now and is moving away to start a career that she's wanted to have for quite a while. I couldn't be happier for her, and I wish her all the best. So, there you have it. I was once one of those creeps. Thankfully, I was able to get help and the help I needed and move on from it. I just really hope that a lot of these other creepy individual users mentioned on this sub will one day also get the kind of help that I did.
Oh my God!
I guess I'm glad you're taking action to not be a fucking creep anymore.
Yeah, but you also probably traumatized that poor woman.
You definitely did.
Yeah.
When you were reading this, all I could think of is, like, if the series You took a different turn and Joe Goldberg was like, wait a minute.
Maybe
I need to talk to someone.
Maybe I need some psychological help. Maybe I shouldn't be murdering
This seems like a lot.
And keeping them in a box. That doesn't seem... You know what? Now that I think about it, that doesn't seem right.
I don't think... Are other people doing that? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, no. I had multiple guys like this surrounding me when I was younger.
Yeah.
As majority of women in life do, which is so unfortunate. And it is good that you were able to get help from it. But that
I
doesn't
hate that it even happened in the first place.
That poor woman now. To call somebody. Also, the girl that he hooked up with.
Yeah, like, was she in the room
That
still?
would be
Like,
so
I would
sad.
cry.
I would be so sad if I probably lost my virginity also. And
it's early
immediately
college.
after, the guy I hooked up with was calling a girl that he didn't even date and was saying, oh, it should have been me and you. Jumping. No, sorry.
Leaping.
But
I will also say... His, like, thing about, like, I don't know why Kate didn't tell me to get out of her life sooner. It's because she was probably scared to do that.
I was
because, like,
thinking the
everything
same
you're
thing.
saying is, like, something super depressing and self-deprecating. Self-deprecating.
that too.
And then you're like, by the way, I love you. So she's like, okay, if I tell this person to fuck off, what if they just, like, jump?
Yup.
She's like, she's gonna feel like that's her fault.
Yup.
It's not.
The amount of times that I had a guy tell me that if I ever stopped talking to him or if I ever wasn't with him, that he would himself, I'd be a millionaire. I'd be a millionaire at this point because compound interest. But to be a millionaire by now, you have to have thousands back then. So no, it's an overwhelming amount, and those are formative years. I cannot tell you, again, me having flashbacks this whole time. I had one person send me a picture of him stabbing himself in the stomach while I went out to the movies with my mom because I wasn't responding to him.
Yeah.
And then I had another guy who cheated on me at the ripe age of like 14, cheated on me, then had the audacity to call me and scream at me and tell me that if I left him, he was going to kill my mom and my sister and my stepdad and all of my friends. And then told me my address because he didn't know where I lived because I'd moved back in with my mom from my dad.
Yeah.
So, like, and other crazy stuff. I had another, like, 8th grade year, got a boyfriend for, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And he had a very bad home life, granted. But he was like, if you ever leave me, I'm going to kill myself. I was like, oh, my God. Oh, and we were only 2 weeks in, so I was like, I can't, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You can have a bad home life and still have accountability for traumatizing someone else.
Yeah.
Like,
you can have bipolar disorder and still take accountability, which I guess you're trying to now. But it doesn't change the 5 years of trauma that you inflicted on this woman and the subsequent women that followed her.
Right.
Trying to take Kate's spot. I wonder if this was, do you remember the guy from the story, the fedora hat guy who is looking at?
I do imagine that this guy is wearing a fedora. So yes, in the what was that universe, this is the same person.
Yeah, he's walking around the school and he's like, I just love you so much. And honestly, like, my life I couldn't even live it without you, and I can't live it without you, and I can't live it without you.
Yeah. And then just like going up to her and like trauma dumping on her and be like, see, now we're close. Eventually you'll be my girlfriend. It's like,
yeah.
No?
Convincing her to come over. I bet he was texting her and he's like, if you don't come over, I'm going to... Yeah, over and over.
Yeah. Or he's just like, oh yeah, like everyone in the club that we joined, because I bet I had guys do that too, where they like joined the club I was in. And it's like, oh yeah, big club meetup. Turns out he didn't invite anyone else.
Yeah, just me.
And he's like, it's a hangout.
Yeah.
We're just hanging out together. Mom, bring us some Totinos.
Yeah, rough.
I love Totinos. I'm sorry.
I do
that I
too.
like every time we talk about incels, I'm like, yeah, the Totinos.
Because it's kind of like the staple.
Yeah.
It's kind of the staple. It's like that Mountain Dew Code Red and nacho cheese Doritos. Like that's like the holy grail. Like, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of points that he's probably leaving out to make himself not seem as bad because he already seems really bad.
Yeah. And like I bet looking back on it,
it's
with
cringy.
Meds and new eyes, being like, oh.
Yeah, I would never talk to anyone I knew during school ever.
No, absolutely
ever,
not. Moving
ever
to a
again.
different state, maybe a different country.
Learning a different language, dyeing my hair, changing my name.
Never going to a reunion.
God, no. Everybody thinks I died. In fact, I faked my own death. And nobody went to the funeral because it was a weirdo.
Didn't have any friends.
Yeah, but now nobody looks for me. And now I am living in a White Lotus resort off the coast of
doing
Thailand.
Much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have friends. We are medicated. Doing so much better.
You have dated. That's
have
great.
dated. Yeah. I'm glad you're having normal interactions with people.
Yep. Yeah, you know that she was itching for graduation day. She was like, the second we flip our caps over, bye.
Yeah.
I'm never talking to you again.
Yep. Yeah, because if you're stuck in the same school with someone and you have to see them
Every day? Yeah,
Like-
absolutely the fuck not. Especially a private school. Also, private schools are fucking weird.
They are
the
weird.
weirdest people go to private school.
Yep. As someone who's gone to public and private, there are some weirdos in private school.
Yeah, I never went to private school.
I think it's like a socialization thing.
Yeah, no, they're always surrounded by like the same people, and it's especially if you're going to like a religious private school, if religion's just like so crammed down your throat that's all you think about, and so everything that you do is like hyper analyzed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If you enjoyed that little story, be sure to watch the full episode here.
And make sure you like, subscribe, and all that jazzy.
Jazzy? I see what you did there. Wait, what was that?